All right, so we have a new exercise here. This one is asking you to use both a for loop and a while loop to generate the following stunning emoji art. So the first thing I'll mention, to print this happy face or smiley face, you need to print this special string. So you can just copy that. Or if you want, you can try and replace it with just an asterisk or any symbol. So I don't really care if it doesn't have to be the emoji. And if for some reason the emoji won't print correctly on your machine, just use a star or a hash or whatever. And so you'll need to use both a for loop and a while loop. And the idea is that you're just printing, 1 out and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5 up to 10. And you could take advantage of the fact that you can multiply a string by a number to print it out multiple times. Or an alternative, not necessarily a better one, is to actually have nested loops. So I'll show you that as a potential option as well. So both for loop and a while loop print out 1 all the way up to 10 smiley faces. Give it a shot. Let me throw up the pause the video thing. There you are. Pause the video. In 3, 2, 1, and I'm back. Well, I actually never left. To head over to my terminal, make a new file. I will call this one art.py. Okay, and let's start with the for loop version. And before I go any further, let me copy this so I don't forget that. Put that up here. And I can just show you if we execute this now, Python 3 art, we get one little happy face. Okay, so let's go for, and we want to do something 10 times. So we could do for x, or let's do num in range. And we could just do 10 like this. But the thing is, remember that's going to go from 0 to 10. And what I'm going to do is take advantage of the fact that I can multiply. So I'm going to take this string, one happy face, multiply it by 2 or by 10, and it will repeat itself 10 times. But if I start at 0, multiplying it by 0 is not going to give me the result I want. So I want to start at 1. So we'll go from 1 to 11, just like that. And the next thing we'll do is just print. I'll just actually copy this line up here, just like that. So starting at 1, we're going to print this string 1 time. Then next time through the loop, num is 2, so we're going to print this 2 times. And each time we print, it's on a separate line. So the result is, hopefully, let's see if we got it right. There we go. We go from 1 down to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Okay, so let's do the same thing with a while loop. So we want to have a variable. Let's just call it, why not, times. And it's going to start at 1. And then we'll have our while, and the condition, we want this loop to keep running while times is less than 11, or less than or equal to 10, either one. And in here, I'm going to copy this and just steal from it, but change num to be times. And if I ran it now, we'd have an infinite loop where it would just print 1 smiley face on every line forever till the end of time, till my computer battery died. But what we want instead is to add 1 to times each time through the loop. So it starts at 1. Is times less than 11? Yep, it's 1. So we're going to print 1 smiley face. Now times is added 1, so it's 2. Okay, is 2 less than 11? Yep, so we print 2. Now we're on 3. And we keep going until we hit 10. Is 10 less than 11? Yes. So we're going to print 10 and add 1, so times is now 11. Is times less than 11? No. All right, let's see if it works. Looks good. We get 2 of the exact same thing. So this is kind of fun. I'm going to comment this out, and I want to show nested loops very briefly. So let's say that I wanted to do this entire thing 3 times. Well, I could easily do that with another loop. So I'll just say for x in range 3. And I'll just put this code in that loop. So I need to indent it properly. So we're not using x. This just says repeat whatever's in here, get rid of that equal sign, whatever's in here 3 times. And then what that happens to be is that we're going to print a pyramid from 1 to 10 3 different times. So let's see what it looks like. Make clear, give us as much space as we need. And there we go. So we just nested a loop inside of another one. We're repeating something that is repeating something on its own. So the weird nested loop solution that I wanted to show you, that's not better, but let's say you didn't know about this multiplying by a string by a number. What we could do instead, I'm going to comment that out and just start fresh at the bottom and say, here we go. And we won't do a nested loop like that. So what we could do right here, this is essentially a loop where we're printing this and we're multiplying it. So we are adding in, remember multiplication is basically addition multiple times. So what we could do is take this and add it to itself each time. So I'll make a new variable in here and I'll just call it time equals, let's do count, and I'll set it at 1. And then I'll do while count is less than num. I'm going to, and this is going to get crazy, so I'm going to make a variable, a string that I'll call, not str, let's go with smileys, and I'll set it at an empty string. Okay, then in here, I'm going to add this in to smileys every time. So smileys plus equals a new smiley face, and I need to then say count plus equals 1. And then at the very end, outside the while loop, we will print smileys with parentheses. Okay, so this is a gross solution compared to this multiplication, but I just wanted to show that you could replace that multiplication with a nested loop. So what's happening here? Okay, so let's say that we are on the 4th iteration of the outer loop. Okay, what we're going to do is we have this variable count set to 1. Each time it resets to 1. And our smileys is an empty string. So while count is less than num, which was 4, so while 1 is less than 4, that's true, we're going to add 1 to our smileys variable. So it gets 1 smiley face, and then we add 1 to count. So now count is 2. Is 2 less than 4? Yes. So we add another smiley face in. So we have 2 smileys. And then we keep going, 3, and then 4. And I think this should actually be less than or equal to num. Anyway, let's see. Did I miss a colon? Nope. It looks good. So this is the wonky way of doing it. So I'll just add a comment without string multiplication. Ugly solution. Okay, great. So we'll leave it off there. If you want to play around with this, a fun challenge is to actually make this centered. So rather than being, what is this? An isosceles triangle? Make it a triangle that is centered, or a pyramid. And to do that, you would actually want to work with odd numbers. So we could do something like this. Comment this out again. And let's go while we're less than 20. And we'll add 2 each time. Okay, so we get 1 and then 3 and then 5. And then you would want to center them all. So this bottom row would be unchanged, but everything else would be shifted over to make a centered pyramid. And to do that, you would need to add space before each emoji to move them over. So if you want to try that, it's kind of a bit of a fun challenge. Otherwise, we're done. We have another exercise after this.